As my wife Joy and I were traveling to Berwick for the final men and women's home matches of the season, I was watching a documentary on the plane, and a quote came on the screen by a woman named Nina Gottlieb. She said, "If there are any questions you want to ask me now. Once I'm gone, it's hard to get me." For some reason, that made me think of Berwick Rangers football and all of the people that I've met in the short time that we've been associated. And it dawned on me that there would be a time in the future, sadly, that some of the icons that we have learned so much from and leaned on for so long would be gone, and their history and their stories would be gone along with them. So I decided that I was going to talk to one person each time I came over. This is one of those stories. The first time I ever pulled down the driveway at Shielfield Park, I met a silver-haired, distinguished man meticulously dressed in a suit and tie. He introduced himself as this man, Robert Johnson. He said, "You must be the Americans we were expecting." I have told everyone who asks me why Berwick that the first encounter made me realize there was something very special about Berwick Rangers football. We will get back to Robert meeting people out front, but it's not how he starts match day. Robert is always one of the first handful of people at Shielfield Park, and he does some of the tasks that need to be done, but no one ever really sees. This is him in 1963, as he tells me the first time he came to the club.
I came here as an 18-year-old in 1963, and I was here for a couple of years. Unfortunately, I didn't make the first team, but I was in the reserve team. And there was a manager came called the famous Jock Wallace, and I was quite slightly made up in those days. And he said to me, he said, "Robert," he says, he took us in the office and he said, "Unfortunately," he said, I think you would be better going to a public park." He was very, very severe, Jock. You go to your public park, putting a couple of codes down, and he says, I don't think you're going to make it as a professional footballer."
Luckily, he hung around, and he loves to tell the story of 1967, when Berwick beat that other Rangers club from Glasgow.
Sammy Reid scored the goal there. That goal there. What I call the Shielfield Terrace end. And that end there, I always call it the Kelso. It used to be a railway line. Like when I first came here, there was a railway line ran from Berwick right up the borders. Before health and safety, they were standing all round there, all round the back of the goal, right away along there. The ground's not changed one bit, but because I think our because you would never get away with that now, because I think our capacity now is 5,500, I think. But then the ground's never changed; it's exactly the same. But people were standing, like I remember I was standing like this, But the ground's never changed.
It's 1-0 Ranger win. You say the Rangers fans going across the bridge,
yep,
throwing their scarves in.
That's me finished. The normal supporter. You'll never be back. That's thrown the scarves into the bridge, and then the next week they're back again and have to buy a new scarf.
When he's done cleaning up, he starts getting ready for his second job, that one that made such an impression on me. He meets and greets people outside hospitality at Shielfield Park and puts a smile on everyone's face.
Right? Yeah, lovely to see you. Aye, fine, aye. No bother. Good to see you. Oh, enjoy your day. Enjoy your day, Leslie. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Aye, fine, aye. Yeah. Good to see you. All that I try and do is treat people how I would like to be treated. And I think it's quite a good philosophy that you just make people feel at home.
I asked him if someone had never been to Berwick, why should they come?
You see this place, says it's typical grassroots. There's a tradition, there's a feeling, there's something about the football club. And that to me is it. Like every time I come down here, you get this feeling of a togetherness. And it's like a family, even though ups and downs, you know, people say, oh, Berwick Rangers are this, Berwick Rangers are that. But the majority of people love this place. And that's me.
That is exactly the feeling I got the first time I ever came to Shielfield Park. And it all started with Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson will forget more about Berwick Rangers football than I will ever learn. I am so glad that he is at the door. I'm so glad that he is part of Berwick Rangers football. And I hope there are many more seasons when I pull up and Robert Johnson is the first face that I see.